Good evening. My name is Scott Hemlin, and as principal, I would like to welcome you to the class of 2024 Ralph C. Mahar Commencement Ceremony. If you could be so kind as to disable the ring on your cell phones, it would be greatly appreciated. At this time, please remove your hats and all rise for the singing of our national anthem and presentation of our nation's colors. The national anthem will be sung by grade 9 student Audrey Elwood, with our nation's colors presented by the Ralph C. Mahar Army Junior ROTC Color Guard. In addition, the national anthem will be interpreted by the following members of Mahar's American Sign Language class: Alana Garapi, Trinity Bergeron, Brendan Gruskowski, and Jaylee Codrington. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to recognize all the members of the Mahar community whom we have lost over the recent years. I ask that we pause for a moment of silence in remembrance of those we have lost. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Zielinski, to the podium for the welcome address.
Good evening, parents, grandparents, godparents, aunts, uncles, caregivers, our school committee members, members of our select boards and other boards within our 4 communities, and of course, our class of 2024. There's going to be many comments made today about this class, but I would like to address my comments to those parents and caregivers of this illustrious group in front of us. Congratulations, Mom and Dad, you did it. You got this far. I am sure that you all recall fond memories of staying up all night when they were infants, fond memories of that first skinned knee, bee stings, fond memories of that first day off to school where either they were crying and you were jumping for joy or the exact opposite. And yet they made it through elementary school and then they entered middle school. And on that faithful day in March, when the school systems shut down and they were sent home to you all day long, there was an awful lot of tears and Zoom meetings and stress, and yet they've made it. They're not the biggest class we've had because many of their colleagues that started school with them decided to go on and make different choices for their schooling. But this group is here today, proud and soon to be alumni of Mahar, and we are proud of them. And so I do wish them good luck in all their future endeavors, and there are many endeavors indeed that they will be seeing and adventuring on to their life's journey. I will particularly miss my weatherman, just saying. And I just want to again congratulate all of you for a job well done in very trying times.
Thank you, Dr. Zielinski. At this time, I would like to introduce Vice President Jackson Archambault, Vice President of the class of 2024, and welcome Jackson to the podium for the welcome address.
School Committee Chair Peter Cross, Superintendent Dr. Liz Zielinski, Principal Scott Hemlin, Mr. Gurton, class officers, parents, family, friends, faculty and staff in the class 2024. Hello everybody, my name is Jackson Archambault and I'm the Vice President of the class 2024. I was told before to imagine the whole audience naked, but now seeing Mr. Gurton I choose not to. We are known as the smallest graduating class ever from Mahar, 56 students. We're also known as the 2-time Center Games champions, and we definitely should have been 3. Today has been a day of celebration, reflection, and anticipation. As we gather here to mark this significant milestone, we're reminded of the incredible journey that has brought us to this point. It has been a journey filled with hard work, perseverance, and countless months of growth and learning. Today we stand on the precipice of a new chapter in our life. The diplomas we receive today are not just only pieces of paper, but also important symbols of our dedication, resilience, and passion for knowledge. They represent the countless hours spent in lectures, the late night study sessions, and the unwavering support of our family and friends. When we came into Mahar, we were all prepubescent teens who were stuck at home learning online, and now we are graduating. It is crazy how time flies. Time will continue to fly. And in 4 years, many of us will be graduating with our bachelor's degree, and in 10 years, there will be from us who will be mothers and fathers. Then we'll be telling our kids about our high school days. And while these ideas seem far-fetched, they are not. This is the reality for many of us. I extend my thanks to my teachers, administrators, and every staff member who helped me and my classmates along the way. I know we will all do great things, and I am extremely proud to represent the class of 2024. As we grow old, our memories will forever stay the same. Tonight marks the beginning of our next chapter in our journeys. Continue the journey, and with the same passion and dedication, we will all have achieved great success. Good luck to all of you, and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackson. Our guest speaker for this evening, Mr. Dan Gerton, was selected by the members of the class of 2024. Mr. Gerton, the salutatorian of the Mahar Regional class of 2000, received his bachelor's degree in environmental education from Brandeis University in 2004, and his master's in education from UMass in 2005. He is a 19-year veteran of the R.C. Mahar Science Department and has taught a variety of science courses, including biology, environmental science, chemistry, and physics. Mr. Gerton has also coached soccer and baseball and has served as the National Honor Society advisor for the past 5 years. At this time, it is my pleasure to invite the keynote speaker, Mr. Dan Gerton, to the podium.
Good evening, Dr. Liz, Principal Hemlin, administration, staff, faculty, school committee, parents, caregivers, as well as all the individuals that are here present tonight to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2024. Most of all, to the senior class, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak this evening. Approximately 19 years ago, I was becoming anxious and excited, about to start teaching science and coaching varsity soccer. I was thinking about how my practices would be filled with skill development, tactical approaches, classroom time would be dedicated to exciting lectures on how the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Well, class of 2024, you have proved I couldn't have been more wrong with what I thought my day would look like. I became a guidance counselor for Vice, a lunch lady, as for some reasons I ended up with a group of you eating and spending your lunch periods in my room for the last 2 years. Media to help solve problems, parent packing extra clothes for games, and a friend when you're crying about your exes. The time, the personal connections, problem solving, trials and tribulations all foster a sense of family. During this time, you've all made a lasting impression on me. As a pseudo-family member, I've been impressed with the traditional accomplishments like the acceptance in quality colleges like Middlebury. And also athletic successes. I distinctly remember 8 years ago watching some crazy kid at Interaction called Dom running around the field. It looked more like you were in karate class than a soccer game. I wouldn't have predicted it almost a decade later. I'm watching the same athlete drop a hat trick against an opponent that was literally quadruple teaming you. Man, you've grown up. There are also the moments to speak about your character. Individuals like Patchy, Cleveland, your freshman, sophomore, junior year, you tried, but you still went winless in softball. However, you showed the perseverance, the leadership, the grit, not to give up and give into the consensus of this is awful, and I'm walking away because that would be a lot easier. The wins finally came your senior year. To some of you that will remain nameless, I can't begin to relate to the challenges that you have overcome growing up. To see the achievements that you face against adversity, you have made me extremely proud. These are the acts that I've learned a lot of respect, and I will not forget them about you. There are many memories that stand out, but I wanted to give time to discuss some thoughts that have stayed with me for the past 25 years, and one that's only a couple weeks old. Additionally, I want to remind you that inspiration arrives at times when you aren't necessarily seeking it, and people close to you can be just as scholarly and influential than a worldly philosopher from 400 BC. To illustrate this point, I picked 3 quotes I wanted to share with you. One from someone you all know personally, one is a friend that I grew up with, and the third, most of the audience has probably watched, play sports, or may have at least heard about. When it comes to advice or pretending to be a deep thinker, a couple friends and I used to joke around and say, the wise man once said, and then the illusion of him stroking his foot-long gray beard, smoke bellowing up around him, sitting on a mountaintop somewhere in Wendell. So I decided to use this as my format for the evening, but to include wise women. Friendship. Back in 1998, maybe it was 1999, a wise woman once said to me, all you need are 2 close friends. 2 close best friends in life. You need 2 in case one is sick. Simple thought, but much deeper. Straight up, you're not going to appease everybody in life, nor should you. Stick to your values. You don't need to have 67 friends, but rather 2 close ones. Remember, your friends are an extension of you. The characteristics that they exhibit on a daily basis reflects upon you. Not to mention, there'll be major influences on your life. When building that relationship with two individuals, you need to find someone who will stand up to you, challenge you to be the best version of yourself, really to hold you accountable. That's someone who knows that when you're facing a tough situation, they're volunteering or acting to undertake the challenge with you. I hope you find these people. I know I can point to those people in my life. As for the wise woman, you may know her as Swoon. A couple weeks ago, one of my soccer players had an issue with a decision a teacher had made. To address it, they wrote a letter. Hearing this, I'm impressed that they're tackling the issue in a really mature fashion, not flying in angrily, ranting, swearing about how they were screwed over. This was one of the best letters that I've ever read by a Mahar student. The letter started with an introduction thanking the teacher for the effort they put forward, the thankless job that they're undertaking, produced in the yearbook. I was thinking, great. Draw the person who compliments to start. Very tactful. Don't alienate the recipient. The letter continued clearly with identifying the issue at hand, supporting it with justifying details. The next part proposed a solution that would be amicable for both parties. Wow, I was thinking, not even one-sided demand. Kid gets it. Perfect grammar, transition between thoughts. Thinking to myself, Speak, Squires, Bjorn, Chris Bailey, everybody in the English department deserves a lot of credit for what they did with our students. This was one of my soccer players that would literally make noises to himself as he headed the ball down the field, oddly to himself repeatedly. The kid wrote this. Well, he didn't. Nor did any other human for that matter. The whole letter was generated by artificial intelligence. This semester marked a first for me. I've been recently receiving AI-generated papers, and I chatted with our resident expert, John Speak. But this letter put me over the edge. I say this knowing this, that it was never the intention of the letter, but I called up one of my friends whose life is intertwined with artificial intelligence. I went on a rant. My career is done. Profession of teaching is over. Lay us off, close the school, save the money. Students don't need me. I can now get a paper written on cultural eutrophication-induced hypoxia in the Gulf of Mexico. The student doesn't need to know how eutrophication leads to a reduction in dissolved oxygen, how to define hypoxic conditions, or even where the Gulf of Mexico is. But I can still get an amazing 7-page paper. Again, profession of being an educator and student. When I was in school, there was a dig that got tossed around. If you don't, and the teacher would fill in the blank, focus, study, or whatever the skill that was being practiced, you're going to end up working at McDonald's. Well, artificial intelligence is eliminating this position too. There's this company called SoundHound AI, which is partnered with White Castle and Jersey Mike's. Right now, you can go to a White Castle drive-thru in 100 locations, and it's not even staffed by a human. You're interacting with an AI bot. Think about it. We don't even need fast food workers anymore. Humans are doomed. This led to a wise man telling me the world is headed to only having two classes of people. Those that know how to work with AI, and those that are scared and will be left behind. One class of people will be the early adopters of the technology. Those that interact, leverage the skills. Those that embrace the AI-centric mindset. The second class are like me, who's yelling, AI's taking our jobs. The second group of citizens are made up of individuals who refuse to accept the inevitable change of a generative AI. This group will be the individuals that are left behind. So I challenge to you, embrace the technology. 4 years from now, don't find yourself in the second class of citizens. Be an early adopter of this technology. AI is a lens that will be filtering everything through as it increases productivity, speed of the tasks you accomplish. Find how it integrates in your life. Make this a part of your college education and business plan. Nerd out. Go down the rabbit hole. Find out how you embrace it. A couple of reasons why I wanted to share this story. One is the AI piece, but the second, the wise man is Colby Cousins, who's a graduate of Mahar class of 2000. Mahar established a pattern of being a lifelong learner and upholding values in this individual. He's the founder of Falcon AI, recently authored an AI-driven analysis of security and vulnerability of community infrastructure in the greater Boston region. The report has been classified by Homeland Security as well as the FBI. Think about it. This Mahar grad is now writing classified reports for these agencies. This proves that you can accomplish greatness being a Mahar graduate. Lastly, as I mentioned earlier, you can find inspiration when you're not looking for it. A few years ago, I was reading Barstool Sports, nestled between stories of Dave Portnoy's gambling addiction, hatred from contributors of how much the failing franchise, the New England Patriots, have become since Tom Brady left, and satirical take on society's failures. There's a story about someone successful giving a speech at the Brett Warrior Foundation. For some reason, I decided to check it out. The person giving the speech, and really, Noah Bailey, these are your clues. See if your brain survived the football season. The person was a Heisman Award winner, 2-time national champion, and an NFL first-round draft pick. The speech that was given integrated additional parts of life and was certainly more encompassing than what I distilled down into a two-line simple quote. However, I felt it applies to every single individual this evening. This isn't a message to merely the graduating class, but rather everyone, the 70-year-old grandmother, the 14-year-old middle school boy. A wise man once said, "Success is about you as the individual. Significance is about other people." I challenge you to live a life of significance over success. I wish I could have claimed this challenge as my own, but this highly successful person has already been promoting this notion. Don't get me wrong, success is the opposite of failure. I want nothing more than each of you to be successful. However, a life lived full of success without significance will leave you unfulfilled. You may not have realized, but you all been afforded the opportunity to see this in action. Oddly, I was traveling to my camp in New Hampshire the other day to write the speech. And as I was driving, a model of significance stood in the road in front of me. This individual was out watering the plants in the center of Orange. This person has given the majority of her life to enhancing the lives of generations of individuals. Civic engagement projects, town hall restoration, community dinners for the townspeople, the sleep that was skipped, the personal sacrifices by her and her sister make Mahar students and members of the region the best they can be. This is true dedication to the lives of others. This is an exhibit of significance. The person watering the flowers is Penny Smith. How will you show significance? Will it be actions that you take locally through a civic engagement club or church group? What about taking time out of your life to be an unpaid 5th and 6th grade RA basketball coach for Lean Homes? Will it be a person volunteering at Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Western Mass? What is your purpose? What will be your contribution to advancing society? The wise man? Noah? It was Tim Tebow. Choose your friends wisely, embrace change, live with significance over success. Thank you to the class of 2024. You will always stand out in my life. Stay awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Gurdon. At this time, I would like to invite Class Secretary Ava Duty and Class Treasurer Laura McGinnis to the podium for the presentation of the class gift to Dr. Zielinski.
School Committee Chair Peter Cross, Superintendent Dr. Liz Zielinski, Principal Scott Hemlin, Mr. Gurton, class officers, parents, family, friends, faculty and staff, and the class of 2024.
On behalf of the class of 2024, we would like to present a monetary donation to the athletic department for the pavilion by the pickleball courts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ava and Laura. At this time, I would like to invite School Committee Chairperson Mr. Peter Cross to the podium to offer congratulatory remarks.
I offer these remarks to parents, brothers and sisters, caretakers, grandparents, faculty and staff of this wonderful school, members of the small but mighty class of 2024, and anybody else I've forgotten. But I'm mostly speaking to the students who are graduating today. And the best teachers you've had at this school are teachers who have taught you not what to think, but how to think. There's a difference. And if you've been taught how to think and not necessarily what to think, then you've been taught well. And I guess I know you're getting ready to get your diplomas, so I wasn't going to take too much longer, and I don't have any notes. So I'm going to quote a song, the words of a song. I'm not going to sing it, but I'm going to quote it. And I was reminded of it because in this day and age, and when you were in the 8th grade, and COVID came, and ever since then, people have felt alone from time to time. And it's important to realize that you're not alone. So this is a song by a woman named Pat Humphreys, who was a folk singer and lives, I believe, in Massachusetts. And I'm just going to say the words of the chorus. I'm not going to sing it, but it is a lovely song, and if I had time, I would have had Audrey sing it. We are living neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in this stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live inside. Loving beings will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cross. I will now recognize the top 10 students of the class of 2024 by rank and the current National Honor Society members. Students, please stand when your name is called. Jackson Thomas Archambault. Noah Raymond Bailey. Jeffrey Paul LaPlante. Owen Benjamin Carl. Benjamin Addison Cole. Dominic George Whitman. Logan Mary Burke. Ariana Canning. Audrey Grace Danielson. Isabella Bodown. Megan Elizabeth Parse. Mackenzie Marie Finney. Dakota May Cleveland. Ace Rain Allen. Hazel Brooke Emery. Anthony Jovan Stone. Haley Morgan Sousa. Lucas Israel. Melanie Normarie Rodriguez. Caleb Joseph Rodriguez. Brianna Marie Decato. Julian Joseph Smith. Jaylee Eileen Codrington. Saeed Roberts. John Joseph Alfonso King. Carmichael Thompson. Nora Elizabeth Matherin. Brianna Josephine Millette. Brooke Voudron. Sophia Elizabeth Cronin. Caden Coy. Trayton Mark St. Pierre. Obi Leaf Eaton. R.J. Beeman. Josiah Joseph Cardona. Franklin Ava Lovegrove Kyoto. Kyle Scott Hardy. Derek Parlett. Evan Woodbury. Brendan Gruskowski. Keelan Daniel Lawrence. Elena Elizabeth Garapi. Michael Edward Hall. Kenneth Valier. Adam Marino Lopez Melo. Trinity Amre Nevea Bergeron. Class Marshal William Rafferty Barnes. Class Marshal Olivia Marie Patch. Marshals, please stand the class. Graduates, please change your tassels from right to left. Alumni, please stand and welcome your fellow alumni. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Ralph C. Mahar Regional School graduates of the class of 2024. Marshals, you may seat the class. There are many individuals whom I'd like to thank for making this event such a success. This process takes an enormous amount of time. We couldn't have done it without the wonderful assistance of Ms. McKenna, Mrs. Daigle, Ms. Parker, Ms. Penny Smith, Ms. Miller, Ms. Rydell, and all the teachers and staff, students, and the exceptional custodial and maintenance staff. In particular, I would like to thank and recognize Kathy Kilhart for her continued support. Although Ms. Kilhart officially retired as a teacher several years ago, she never left and continues to maintain a presence here at the school in a variety of capacities. This year marks 50 years of service to the Mahar community, a milestone that very few ever achieved. Please join me in a very special round of applause and thank you to Kathy Kilhart. My apologies if I omitted your name. I want to thank you for what you have done to make this such a wonderful event. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to invite the president of the class of 2024, David Vitello, to the podium for closing remarks.
School Committee Chair Peter Cross, Superintendent Dr. Liz Zielinski, Principal Scott Hemlin, Mr. Gurton, class officers, parents, family, friends, faculty, and staff in the class of 2024. Hello, everybody. I will keep this brief so no one feels the need to play on their phones. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone here for coming. All 56 graduates greatly appreciate your presence. Graduating high school is an achievement worth celebrating. There have been countless hours spent studying and working hard to achieve this feat. That goes for everyone in front of me wearing the gowns and wearing the caps for about 5 more minutes. My name is David Vitello. I've been a student here at Mahar for 6 years and class president for the last 3. My time at Mahar has been well spent, and that is thanks to my wonderful classmates and the excellent, thoughtful teaching staff Mahar has to offer. I believe we do not give enough recognition or acknowledgement to our valedictorian and salutatorian. I know just how competitive those top 2 spots were,
and I know just how hard Laura McGinnis and Noah Bailey, two of my lifelong friends, worked to achieve this. A round of applause for Laura and Noah, please. The 56 graduates in front of me represent Mahar's smallest graduating class ever. While we are short on numbers, we certainly are not short on achievements. During our 4 years, we led deep state tournament runs in soccer and basketball. We had multiple members of our class working in the Key Club for the betterment of our community. Our esports team made the finals in states. We founded many clubs and acted as fantastic examples of school spirit and class camaraderie. Most importantly, we are 2-0 in Senator games because I do not count this year's Mickey Mouse Ray. While thinking about graduating high school, I reflected back on a previous time in my life. On my 10th birthday, I cried all night long. I thought I was moving through life too fast and not enjoying it enough. The number 1/8 stuck out in my head, since statistically, I lived about 1/8 of my life. Now, while I probably should have quit being emotional and had a double digits party, that moment has stuck with me. The average American lives about 80 years. That's 960 months, 29,200 days, 700,800 hours, and 42,048,000 minutes. Now, I've already taken about 3 of them, but just give me 2 more. When put into that terminology, it should inspire one to make the most of every minute. One of the biggest regrets of people in their old age is not pausing to appreciate life. Take a look around, and for once, free yourself of the constant urge to hurry up. True fulfillment is reached through happiness, and happiness is reached through stopping to smell the roses. So for the rest of tonight and part of tomorrow, take some time to reflect on and appreciate all the beautiful things and people we have in our lives. With that being said, I can confidently say that every person in front of me is ready to move on to the next chapter of our busy, ever-changing lives. And while this may be true, it by no means indicates any dissatisfaction with this incredible school. We represent a group of young, brilliant minds, and I believe we have left a positive stamp on Mahar. But more importantly, Mahar was a gift to us. We could not have asked for a better place to spend these last few years of our lives. To the 55 other graduates here, thank you for changing my life, and I wish you all nothing but success and happiness in your futures. And from the 56 of us to the collection of Mahar Senators here tonight, thank you. Roll Sens.
Aye.